Once upon a time, a long, long time ago, in the age when there were kings and queens and subjects, farms and farmland, animals grazing on the hillside, and beautiful maidens and handsome young men, oxen, donkeys, horses, dirt roads and cobble streets, there were very many young ladies that were dancing in a circle, and they would dip down low with their beautiful dresses grazing the ground, and back up again, and with their hair twirling and swirling around as their movements were rhythmic, with the beautiful sound of the piccolo, the lyre, and the harp. Now these maidens were no ordinary young ladies. However, they looked as much like the young ladies that inhabited the land. But these were angelic beings who came to adorn the invisible atmospheres. They were like the beautiful colors and fragrances of the lovely flowers that were growing here and there. But they adorned the beautiful spaces set aside for just such endeavors. One day, as the society were moving about and occupied in their glorious endeavors, soldiers were marching, maidens were dancing, and young men were vying to be the most excellent in the land, there came one specific, beautifully adorned princess, and as she walked through the beautiful spaces, she could feel the presence of the invisible dancing maidens, but knew not what it was. This young princess had endured many physical afflictions in her life, and had a sorrow deep within her heart that no one could reach her, and no one could comfort her. As she was walking through the special spaces, she felt the magnificence and joy of the lovely dancing maidens, and not knowing what it was, something began to stir within her heart. It was as if ice was melting in the presence of a bright, sunshiny day. An amazing thing began to happen. The sadness in her eyes began to dissipate and be filled with joy, and the somber expressions on her face began to soften. There was a glow to her face and a spring in her step, and she began to walk with freedom from the infirmities that she endured from her childhood, and her body began to move smoothly and effortlessly the way that it should have done, without being hampered by pain and twisted limbs. Something miraculous had happened to the young princess, and she did not understand what it was. There was melody in the air, and beauty flooded her soul. Somehow the invisible atmosphere had permeated her to the core of her being, with joy and lilting and nimbleness of feet. And the change became obvious as she began to talk to the people that she met with so much kindness and so much compassion. Her world changed, and she was able to change the world for all of those around her for the rest of her life. The end, or better yet, a new beginning.